And how much were you asking for the Xbox, sir? How much were you asking for the Xbox?
The whole games and everything.
I just want a few games and maybe the Xbox. Alright, so the new Tomb Raider came out today. It's a game that I really want to play, and I really don't want to wait for it to go unused for cheaper. I kind of want to play it, you know, tomorrow or this weekend or something. So, I'm going to go to GameStop tomorrow after work and pick it up. But me being the cheap bastard that I am, I don't want to pay actual money to get it. So, I accumulated some stuff for trade credit over here. I'm gonna get it on the 360. I don't have, my brother has an Xbox One. I don't have it, but I'd rather have it on the 360. I was actually surprised it was coming out for the 360. A lot of the new games are being phased out on the older generation systems, but you know, it's like $10 cheaper. I think at $49.99 I was reading. So you know, it should be fine. I think probably some things are diminished or ebbed, but whatever, it is what it is. Accumulated some stuff for trade credit, so if you guys are thinking about getting some games that are coming out, I did a little research over here. Not too much, just things I had lying around. For 360 controllers, I called the guy on the phone. They're actually going for $10 each in trade credit, so there's $30 right there. You know, I paid like $5. I remember paying one of these $5 at the flea market. One literally at a garage sale for like 50 cents. The woman like gave me everything for like $3. I had like a pile of stuff, and I was surprised I had one. Another one. I thought I only had two extras, but I guess I had 3. So I don't even remember where I got the third one from. But I was thinking about keeping it. I already have 2 other controllers I have for myself, but I thought to myself, because I was kind of kicking myself a little bit, because this past weekend when I went to the flea market, there was freaking 360 controllers for days. So I could have just bought a few over there, and it had no problem getting the Tomb Raider game for, you know, not really much of anything at all. But whatever, this is $30 right here. I can always just buy another 360 controller if I need it anyway at the flea market. I remember I got this at the flea market for like $5 or something. It trades in for like 8. And the good thing is about GameStop, you might complain about, because I do too, don't worry, that they don't give cases with their games. Well, if more than likely sometimes they'll give you the game without the case, but the trade credit applies with the case or without, the same value. So this trades in for 8, Left 4 Dead 2, case or no case. So that's important for you guys to know if you're thinking about trading things in the GameStop. And this I paid for $3 at the flea market. The new Super Mario Bros. Wii. This trades in for 8 with or without the case. So that's what, $16 right there. So 30 plus 10, that's 40. It's $46. So I mean that's close enough. You know, a few bucks, whatever. You know, I could probably go to the flea market next week and probably find some other things to trade in, but for a few dollars, who gives a crap anyway? So I'm happy with it. Some of the games I looked up that I had extras, Halo Reach, it's not really worth it. It's like $1 trade in. What else? The 2 Dead Space games are like $1, $1.50, so it's not really worth it. But yeah, this is what I have to trade in. So yeah, I'll have the new Tomb Raider game tomorrow for sure.
Alright, so I just left this GameStop over here. Could have went a lot smoother, definitely for sure. I brought in the games. He had some, like, trainee behind the counter. Didn't really know what he was doing. But I'm a patient guy. Listen, he had to be like 16 years old. We were all 16 years old once and starting our first jobs. I don't know if that's what this kid was doing or whatever, but you could see he was definitely kind of struggling a little bit. So I'm patient and whatnot. Basically, the games that I brought in Mario for the Wii. What else? Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition complete, and Left 4 Dead 2 disc only. You know, the manager was helping out the kid, and basically the two disc only games of Mario and the Left 4 Dead were too scratched or whatever. So like they the trading credit that I looked at online, it didn't apply to that, so they knocked down a few bucks for like refurbishing or whatever, which I guess is okay. At the end of the day, for those 3 games, I got $12 in trade credit, which looking back, I should have took the Mario back. I definitely could have got a lot more at my local reseller or just reselling it in general. It is what it is, though. The line was kind of gathering behind me, so I just wanted to get the fuck out of here. And the kid, like I said, the kid was just... He didn't really know what he was doing. So if I took away the game with the trade credit already applied, it would have been a big hassle. And who gives a fuck, you know? Who cares? So yeah, $12 for those 3 things. Still made money if I really want to look at it. Definitely was hoping for a little bit more, but it is what it is. It's GameStop, so I mean, you got to expect these kind of things, I guess. They took the 2 controllers. I had 3. One of them is one of those chargeable 360 controllers, so you needed the wire to trade it in. So they didn't take one of them, so I got $20 for the 2 controllers. Made money on those, so it's all good. I knew they stuck with the $10 a controller type of thing. So all in all, I got about $32 in trade credit. I got the game over here. It was actually the lighting's just freaking terrible. Hold on, let me turn on the light. There we go. You got Rise of the Tomb Raider for the 360. The only copy they had left. You know, it doesn't come with a manual. I was kind of afraid because when I picked it up, it was really fucking light. So I thought maybe there's like just like a download code for like the 360 version, but no, there's a physical disc. Thank God. I would have gone fucking insane. Yeah, $32 in trade credit. Ended up paying. Let's see. I mean, you guys don't care about the receipt. About $20 in cash. $19 and 59 cents. So, you know, that's fine for a new game. You know, I could have waited a few weeks, maybe even like a month, and gotten it for essentially free for like a used copy or whatever it was. But honestly, it's a game. I'm gonna start playing this game. Probably not tonight, but this weekend when I have some time. So this is a game I've been waiting for a long time. Loved the last Tomb Raider remake game. It was fantastic. I definitely highly recommend that game if you guys haven't played that one. So I'm very excited to try this one out for sure. I'm already hearing great things about it, and I'm glad it came out on the 360 because my brother has an Xbox One, like I was saying, but I do not have one, and I still play my 360. I don't think I'm going to get an Xbox One for a while. So, yeah, it was the last one they had, so who knows if this is going to be rare in the future. I'm sure it's going to be a lot more uncommon than the one version, but definitely excited to play it. Moving along. Hey, good morning, everybody. Got a few things this week to show. I had the day off today, so I just decided to, you know, talk about some of the things I got. You saw that I already picked up Tomb Raider for the 360, the new one. So I'll talk about that briefly at the end, tell you what I think about it, if I recommend it or not. I went to the flea market this past week, and I said I wasn't going to, but and I wasn't. But my father actually, he was going, and he asked me if I wanted to go with him, and I wasn't doing anything. So I decided, you know, why not just go anyway. We got there around 10:30. And I wasn't expecting to find anything because, you know, even though the competition, I would say, is brief at this market, you still have that one lady who sells just primarily video games. So I guess when no one else is there, she you know, has a monopoly on the entire market. And I did go to her booth, and she had all these spectacular PS1 games there. Some of the Mega Man X games on the PS1, some like long box games, Resident Evil, and things like that. It's funny, I was walking around and some guy had a PS1 with like the Namco gun. I asked him if he had any games, and he said that they sold that morning. So two together, those are probably the PS1 games. But outside the flea market, you have like some people like setting up in like a yard sale type of format, and this is where I find most of the stuff that I come across there. This is where I found some of the games here. So I'm walking past one of the vendors, and it was kind of hidden, so this is why I think I got it.
I saw like a box of Xbox games, and with like the original Xbox there, and I saw this game on top of it, House of the Dead 3 for the original Xbox. So I'm like, okay, this probably hasn't really been picked through yet, because I feel like that, you know, somebody would have picked up this game already. There was a kid there, and I guess his father. I asked them how much the games were. They said $3 each. So I'm like, I got really excited. I started going through the box, and this is what I picked out for $3 each. We got House of the Dead 3. You just saw it. I had this game already, but the disc mine is extremely scratched. It works, but just one of those things that kind of bothered me, you know, with some of the stuff that I had. So I rebought it. This one is in better condition. Awesome game. I'm sure you guys know about the House of the Dead series. Very fun rail shooter. Played it all the time in the arcades. One of my buddies, Dan, had this when we were, you know, teenagers. You can actually unlock House of the Dead 2 as well on this. So you definitely get a lot of good value for gameplay on this. I saw Jeff McKenzie pick this one up, so I decided to, you know, pick this one up as well. I think he got it on the PS2, Area 51. Looks like a decent first-person shooter for $3. I thought, why not? And this one was the creme de la creme, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for the Xbox for $3. And my buddy Wayne actually had this on the PS2 back in the day. So much fun, a very fun fighter. That's why it probably holds its value. Has the catchiest opening song of all, title screen of all time. You guys play this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, those were $3 each. He had an okay. So I've had a broken Xbox for the longest time, and you know, I'm trying to rebuy a new one, but I'm always so hesitant to rebuy those things because they break. And I've been burned once before at the flea market. I bought an Xbox with all the cords and a controller for $15. It didn't work at the flea market. You know, this was years ago. So I've always been just hesitant to just pick up a new one, just like at a random garage sale or something. And of course, he had the Xbox on the table. Asked him how much he wanted for it. He wanted $30 for everything, for just the Xbox. I offered him $20 for the games and the Xbox because the games are so cheap enough and whatever. And he counter offered at $25. So I bought the Xbox with the power cord because I had lost mine, and those 3 games for $25. So I brought it home. I was pretty, I don't know. I definitely, in the back of my mind, was thinking that it might not work, but I thought I'd take a chance at $25. The games are cheap enough, and the value for Marvel vs. Capcom is definitely there. So I thought I'd take the chance. I brought it home, plugged it in, and the first issue was when I pressed the power button on the disc opener just wouldn't open. You know, the thing that pops out. I can't think of the damn phrase right now, but it just wouldn't open, and so I'm like, fuck. This used to happen to my original Xbox back in the day before it broke. I would have to pound on the system for it to come out, and that was the case with this one. So I'm like, this is a bad sign. Plugged it into my TV, and of course, it doesn't load the game at all. So that really sucked. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that thing. I'm probably just going to junk it, to be honest with you. I kept the power cord. It's funny. These Xboxes, the few that I've picked up, I'm keeping parts of it. Like I kept 2 controllers from the other one, the AV cable. I kept the power cord for this one. So I just need the damn box just to have a fucking Xbox. So what I think I'm going to do is just bring some trade some stuff into my local game store, and just get it there, because he lets you test out everything before you buy it. So that's what I'm probably going to do. It's like the fucking Journey, the Xbox over here. So that kind of sucked. I got a little burned on that deal, but you know, I was happy to find these games, and it was funny because I didn't have a bag at first, so I'm walking around with the games and the Xbox in my hand. I got so many offers for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I'm like, nah, nope. I want to play that game again. So that was fun. All right, and lastly over here, just a really quick pickup at a thrift store. One by where I work. I go in there at least twice a week. I've talked about this thrift store before. But I walked in there, a bunch of VHS tapes. Where they normally keep the DVDs, they replaced with VHS tapes. So I was thinking I wasn't going to find anything in there. So I guess somebody donated like hundreds and hundreds of these things. There's boxes on the floor full of VHS tapes. But
they had a small section for like DVDs and stuff, and I picked this one. I saw this game here. Actually, I was really excited to find this. Not a really hard game to find at all. Almost bought it at my at the game store I go to for $7.99. I was this close to buying it, but I'm like, you know what? I'll find it for cheaper. This is not an uncommon game at all. And I found this one. It's Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. I'm new with the Metal Gear Solid series. I played a little bit of the first one, but I think I'm really gonna dig myself in with this one because I heard it's like the best one from a lot of people. It says $2.99. I don't know if you can see that, but the guy at the register charged me only $2 for it. I don't know why, but I wasn't complaining. So yeah, that's what I got at that thrift store. The only thing I found this past week over there. So briefly, I just want to talk about the new Tomb Raider game that just came out. I've been playing it about 2 to 3 hours in right now. Just like very similar to the first one in terms of gameplay. If you guys played the reboot that came out a few years ago, I really enjoyed that game immensely, more than I thought I would. And this one's very similar in terms of gameplay. The platforming is pretty much the same. I'm not going to go into story or spoiler territory because it's so new. I'll just talk about if I enjoy the game or not, and I do for the most part. Combat is the same, pretty much. The weapons seem like they're going to be the same. Hopefully, there's some new weapons that are going to come up later on. But you know, you got the bow right now. I acquired the pistol. The story's pretty interesting. Not captivating or groundbreaking or that you know, super interesting, but it's good for the most part right now. Like I said, I'm not really that far into it. You get to explore the tombs like you did in the first one. That was one of my favorite parts of the first game, like finding the hidden tombs, kind of just like in random areas. And yeah, some of the ones that I found so far have been really good. And they've added this new because from what I remember for this first one, it was pretty linear in terms of storyline. You know, you get your different objectives and you get to explore the island and that sort of thing. But they've added, from what I can understand, some side mission quests. So you'll come across like I said, I won't go into spoiler territory over here, but you come across like certain side missions that you can do if you want. So that's pretty interesting. Definitely adds a little bit of new gameplay to everything. You know, I'm surprised it came out on the 360. You know, all these games are. I think they've ditched the last generation for the most part. Especially from Microsoft, you don't see a lot of games coming out for the 360 anymore. But this one did. And when I went to, I mentioned it in the beginning of the video. The GameStop that I went to actually had one more copy left. So I think it's going to be very uncommon in the future. This version of the game. In terms of graphics, you could tell they're not as... The first one was definitely a lot more polished than this one. Not saying that they're bad or anything like that. They're good for the most part, you know. That definitely doesn't bother me at all. But I think the one to get would probably be the Xbox One version. I'm sure the graphics are a lot better on this one, but on that one. But you could tell that they didn't put in the oomph into the graphical part of this one, but it's good. It's fine for what it is. Definitely a lot of fun. So if you played the first one and you wanna check this one out and you enjoyed the first one, definitely I'd say I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Is it $60? Actually, the 360 version was $50. So, you know, I had some trade credit. I applied to purchasing the game. I only paid about $20 for it. So, in terms of in cash, so it was fine. It was I'm definitely a lot of value there. So, I recommend it for sure. So that's gonna do it for this week, guys. I hope you guys have a good one. Find what you're looking for, and take care.